Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Zero Hour. You know, people sometimes wonder why we're hammering economic issues so much on this show, why we feel so passionately about it. I guess I would say, well, first of all, I have a piece coming out in Alternate this weekend called Seven Ways the American Dream is Dying. There are people who have never experienced the American dream in this country, who are living in poverty, who are trying to advance themselves, and yet social mobility is worse than ever. The chance to advance yourself is worse than ever. There are entire classes of people who have experienced that American dream and find it slipping away from them. And it doesn't matter whether you're someone who's known this dream for 3 generations or known it for one. When something slips away from you, it's a painful experience. There's a reason why more than half of people polled in several recent polls said some variation of they don't believe the American dream is real, or they don't believe it's possible to achieve anymore. There's a reason for those results, and the reason is this: those people are right. The key elements of the American dream, whether it's a living wage, retirement security, the chance for your kids to do better than you've done, or even a vacation, are slipping away, and nobody's making concrete proposals to really change that. I won't go into all the details of the 7 elements we describe in the piece, but I will tell you this. First of all, most people can't get ahead financially. The data shows that middle class and lower income families are heavily in debt, and that families on the low end of the income spectrum are the most in debt of all. That's got to stop. That's because people can't make ends meet in the country as it exists today. Secondly, we find that student debt is crushing an entire generation. We've talked about that a lot on this show, but you can't say it enough. You know, someone in Forbes magazine said college is supposed to be, quote, the great equalizer, the facilitator of the American dream. Great words, great descriptions, but how can you facilitate the American dream when that great equalizer is only affordable to the few? Let me give you a quick example. The California University of California system was the wonder of the nation when it was created with free tuition. Last year, tuition at UC Berkeley was $12,972. And while a lot of people get financial assistance, families can't make it. They can't afford college. They can't afford vacation. Many Americans, we're the only developed country that doesn't provide mandatory vacation time. Some people can't afford to take vacations because they can't afford the time off and they don't have the vacation day. Others can't afford the cost of going away. Medical care is increasingly unaffordable in this country. I keep coming after that. Health insurance is not medical care. They are not the same thing. So if the Affordable Care Act makes health insurance available to more people, that may be a step in the right direction, but an actuarial firm called Milliman analyzes the out-of-pocket costs for a family of 4 every year for the medical care they need, and it is now approaching $10,000. How many? That's out of pocket, not counting what employers pay, and that's for a good health plan. So how many families can afford that kind of cost? And worst of all, and we'll close with this, if we're always talking about Social Security on this show, one of the reasons is that Americans can no longer look forward to a secure retirement. Corporate pensions have been gutted in favor of tax-free savings plans that barely make up for a year's income for most Americans. As well, Social Security is under constant assault. The eligibility age has been raised, and other plans for cutting it have been proposed. Savings have been gutted by the financial crisis and by wage stagnation. So, all in all, the key elements of the American dream, meaning you work hard, your kids can do better than yourselves, you can take a little time off, and when you get time to retire, you can have a little bit of financial security. One by one, these elements of the American dream have been taken away. By what? By banking corruption, by corporate influence on politics, by growing wealth inequality, and the lack of a national movement to do something about it. We need that national movement. We call for that national movement. We promote it wherever it appears, whether it's on the street of Ferguson, Missouri, or whether it is on the demonstrations of Occupy, or whether it is in the political speeches by those few who are standing up for the many. We applaud them all. They are all reflections of the same struggle, and we will continue to fight for them right here. I'm Richard RJ Eskow, and this is the Zero Hour.